Hello, beautiful people. How are you doing? How have you been? I hope you missed me. I know, right? It's been a while I uploaded here, and that's because I've been pretty busy, stuff, the issues of life. That's part of adulting. But I realized that today I have to come here and gist you guys on so many things that I have been piling up. I've not had enough time on my hand, as you can see. Even my hair is undone, but it's life. So let's, without wasting much of our time today, I want us to go right into today's video. Today's video is going to be an interesting topic that most of us find very I don't know how to put it, but it is something that we cannot evade, which is adulting. Like, seriously guys, adulting. We need to understand that we live in a world that people grow from phase to phase. Like, every step in this life is in phases, and we grow from a particular level to the other level, and it is part of living, it's part of living in this world that we are. But today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some things that it's like, guys, you were lied to. Adulting is scam. Take it or leave it. Now, why do I say so? When I was growing up, the things I'm currently facing, and some of the things I've faced in my few adult years, nobody told you I was going to be facing those things. I mean, it's just like you're growing up, and just that, reality just hits you like, oh my god, it hit me, stuff like that. But then we need to rise above it. I have here, I can't do without a list. I have here some things that I have highlighted and I would like to discuss with you. One thing that I've learned growing up is that now that I'm an adult, I'm above 20. So if you are above 22, even if you are above 25, you are considered to be a confirmed adult. So, like I said earlier, there are some things that when we were growing up, we wish that we fantasized about. We were so happy, and some of the things we had, and we're like, oh my god, I can't wait to grow up. I can't wait to be an adult. I can't wait to do things. I can't wait to do that. I can't wait to have my first car. I can't wait to get married. I can't wait to start having kids. I can't wait to start eating some food. So many things. But then, fam, number one lesson I learned in adulting is that you are on your own. Yeah. And what I mean you are on your own, I mean, I want you to have in mind the idea of consequence. That is, whatever thing you do, you own it. You should own it to yourself that yes, you did this. Whatever you do, whatever thing you do, there are consequences attached to it. Your actions, your inactions, they have consequences. As an adult, if I do something, I should be ready to take responsibility for it. We were not taught that. We were not told that. Because I felt that at a point, I remember sharing with one of my mentors at a point that I feel like it's so weird to be like growing up and then planning some things in life. Okay, for example, you're planning to get married, and then the reality start eating that, dude, you're not going to be sitting at home with your parents. You're not going to be depending on your parents to give you some things. Nobody's going to be cooking for you. You are now going to become a wife or a woman, like an independent woman on your own, and have your own house. Yeah, you get to wake up early in the morning, plan your husband's meal, plan your children's meal, like all those kind of things. It's like, oh my god, it's so overwhelming. Like, seriously. Why it is so overwhelming. That is just the way I see it. So you know that your actions and your inactions, they have consequences. You are going to own your shit yourself. Nobody's going to own it to you. So you need to what? Be prepared. If there are teenagers watching me, or adolescents or young adults, 22 downwards watching me, see, there are so many. I'm even sure some of you know by now, there are so many things that you need to take responsibility for. There are consequences for things you do, and there are consequences for things you do not do. And then another thing that I learned adulting is that in adulthood, you learn that there are some things that you have control over, and there are some things that you sadly do not have control over. Should I even use the word sadly? There are some things you would want to control, but you don't have control over. For example, when growing up, we had this dream like, oh, okay, I'm going to graduate at the age of 20. I'm going to get a job, get a car, drive a nice car, get married to a good man, and you just realize that, okay, these things are not forthcoming. You need to know that it is life. You don't have control over them. They happen anyhow. So there is nothing you can do about it. You just have to let it flow and just let God. Yeah. So you need to know that, for example, like we all know, nobody has control over the weather. You need to realize that your life, you don't have control over some things that happen. For example, you are planning to get a job at the age of 22 or 24, and then you are 26, you don't have a job yet. You see, not because you feel like you don't perform well at interviews, or not because you feel like you don't have enough plans as a business, but because you have enough plans, you have good ideas, you have passed your interview, you are so brilliant and intelligent, and in overall you've done absolutely well, and yet the jobs are not forthcoming, the business ideas are not booming as expected. That is life. It happens to adults. Children do not have to think about that. It's none of their business. So that's one thing adulthood does to you. Like, there are some things you do not have control over, and there are some things you can control. It's so amazing that you're right. Okay, you are grown now, and then there are some things you can control. There are some people you can let into your space. There's some things you can do in your own, especially if you are now living alone and like you now stay alone. You find out that there's so many things you can control. There's some kind of food you can eat. There are kind of relationships you can keep. There are kind of people that you can allow into your space, and there's some kind of events you can give space to happen. So when you were a child, like, your parents basically take all your decisions for you, but then when you start adulting, you realize that you are left some tiny bits, and then later on you graduated to having full control over issues of your life. Another thing I want us to know about adulting is that adulting is the real cocoa life. Like, all those life you've lived when you were like a baby, a teenager, a toddler, a child, growing to a teenager, then an adolescent, all those years. Not that they were not living, of course, you were living, but then that's like, what do I call it? That's like subsidiary living. I don't even know what to say, but what I mean is, that is like living, so living but under somebody. But when you become an adult, like a proper adult, then your living just started. Life just started. Fam. Oh my god. I know what I'm talking about. By the time you are an adult, a full-grown adult, and then life starts throwing some things that you like, wow, nobody told me it's going to be like this. Nobody told me it's going to be like this. So one thing that adulting brings to you is that you have to accept life how it is. We are not God, we are His creators, creations rather. So whatever happens, we can only pray to God to make things better for us, so that to make things better for us, so that we will be able to live through it, and also in a little way make impact, or in a big way, whichever is applicable. But the fact is, when you adulting brings you the real life, the reality of life, and you just have to accept it. That is life. And then again, one thing I would want to talk about concerning adulting is the term alignment. You see, when adulting, when you grow up and you come to a certain stage known as the adulthood stage, you start to understand alignment. What does alignment mean? That is, you understand that there are times that things happen, and you need to position yourself in the perfect place to be for you to be able to maximize that period, that time. Life happens, just like I've said earlier, and if you do not position yourself very well in a strategic place, in strategic moment, or be strategic about your plans, before you open your eyes like this, life has gone. You are 60. it is that hot. So you need to know that period of adulthood is a period of alignment. Become aligned in aligned with your dreams. Try to bring them into reality. Do whatever it is you can do, sharp, and do it. So you need to understand that you are your own savior. You are the one that will bring light to your path. When I mean that, of course, it's Jesus that will give us light. But then it is only you who can understand your journey into adulthood. So you are the only person that can keep enlightening yourself that this is who I am. Walk in the consciousness of who you are, and keep acting it out. Adulting includes you making mistakes. There is no perfect adulting. Do not be deceived. All those, when we were still young, we used to watch all those Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Snow White, and all those, nice cartoons and animations then. And we have this idea that, life is a perfect bed of roses, life is so sweet. You just grow up, and then when you're pretty, you're fine, you're going to get a man of your dreams. Oh, now lie. Nah, lie. Well, not that you won't get a man of your dreams. Of course you will, if you are persistent and prayerful. But then, it's not a smooth journey. My brethren, it is not a smooth journey. It takes time and hard work and God's grace. So, know that in adulthood, you are going to make a whole lot of mistakes. You are not alone, okay? Understand that. But don't dwell on your mistakes. Use your mistakes to build a better, to build a basis for you to what? Strike harder and hit the target. Another thing about adulting is that you need to understand that you will start making sacrifices. Sacrifices in the sense that you make sacrifices for yourself, you make sacrifices for your friends, for the people that surround you, you make sacrifices for your parents. You will also make sacrifices, most especially for your relationship. One thing adulting brings to you is relationships. The ability for you to be able to see relationships, understand them, and sustain them. That is one big thing that adulthood has gifted us. Adulting brings bills. Bills, guys. Bills to pay. You pay rent. You pay for food. You pay for transport. You pay for little, all those, I don't know, whatever you call it, miscellaneous, inconveniences, everything. Adulthood brings you that. You pay bills. Even if the job is not there, you've got bills to pay. And that is why you need to hustle. You get it? You need to hustle. Hustle, my sister, hustle, my brother. Another thing I would like to say is when you are an adult, you start learning or trying to be a good role model. The fact is, when we were young, even the Bible said it that when I was young, I behaved like a child. But now that I am growing old, I'm getting older, I start to have more knowledge. I start to have more understanding on how to do things, how to behave, how to, relate. And these things that we do, others coming behind us, our younger ones especially, or the people we have influence over, they tend to copy our steps. So one thing adulthood brings along with it is that you need to know that you are becoming a model to some people that view you, that see you. So the consciousness to always be good, the consciousness to always do things right is always there. You don't have to let it get you under pressure. Of course, most people are sometimes always put under pressure as to act rightly. But I feel like if you've kind of mastered the act of doing things rightly, it gets into you, like you don't have to be under pressure to do anything right. So one thing you must know is that adulthood brings a lot of sweet things and lots of not so sweet things. Part of the sweet things is you get your freedom and you get to get a job and you can spend your money anyhow, without anybody having to supervise you. How much? What are you using money to do? What are you do? No, I give it. I get that kind of thing. And then I also get to bring you some sweetest thing like relationship. Relationship can be sweet and it can be, bitter. Should I use the word bitter? I don't know. It depends on the kind of relationships we have. And when I'm talking about relationships now, I'm not just talking about a romantic relationship. It can be a friendship, it can be a business partner, it can be just be friendship, acquaintances, people people from your workplace, people from your class. Up to date, I'm still very good friends with some of my classmates. Not from secondary school, because my secondary school I didn't really bond well with most of my classmates, and that was because of some issues. I really didn't bond well with them. But I remember that starting from my university level, from my undergrad level, so in fact I still have most of my classmates that we are still very good friends. We talk, we plan parties, we plan to attend parties together, and all those stuff. So you get to meet with people, and the thing is you get to sustain relationships with people, because the fact is when you grow older, there are some certain kind of people that like they are your circle, that they come up with you, like they grow up with you. I don't know how to put it in a way that will make sense to you, but what I'm saying is that the kind of friends you keep now will determine the kind of connection you have in the future, will determine the kind of circle you have around you. Relationship is important. That's what I'm trying to say. It's very, very important. And also when we talk about romantic relationships, as an adult, you get to have a taste of romantic relationship. You get to have a lover, someone you love, and you want to share the rest of your life with, someone that always makes you go, oh. So guys, I don't know. I know some of you that watch me from my analytics, you are adults. I want you to please share with me what have been one of the challenges of adulthood. Like, we all have our challenges of adulthood. Personally, if I would say, I think one of my major challenge of adulthood is expectations versus reality. That thing really hits me hard. I would not lie, because the way I was brought up, my upbringing, I didn't expect that I was going to be facing so many challenges as I am facing right now. I was expecting that, oh, it's all going to be rosy and sweet like that. But when the reality hits me, I realized that life changes. You know, sometimes we'll have times that everything is sweet, and then sometimes another time will just come that everything does not be sweet again. And you'll be like, what's going on? What happened? Are we not child of God anymore? But no, you are still children of God. It's just that life happens and we are in this world. So definitely we must partake of all the issues that happens in this world. The main focus of the matter is that you are strong, you are determined, and you know what you want. I would say that expectation versus reality really hits me, because I feel like by now, sometimes when I think of it, I'm like, by now I'm not supposed to still be here. I'm supposed to go far, but I'm like, well, who told you that? You know, stuff like that. But we are grateful. We bless God every day. I'm grateful for the blessings of God that is innumerable in my life. So I want you guys to share with me, what are some of the challenges of adulting? What do you think about adulting? Do you think it is really worth it, or do you think that we should ask God to like send us back to our childhood phase? So share with me some of the challenges that you think that, oh, these are some of the challenges that I experienced and it was not really funny. Okay, or these are some of the challenges I experienced and I would like to give an advice on it for upcoming adults so that they can learn. Please feel free to share with me. And then please guys, I implore you, please, I want you to subscribe to my channel, please. Do you want me, guys, do you want me to kneel down for you guys? I can kneel down, oh, please subscribe to my channel. I have so many views, yet I have a little, like, I have 2 subscriptions. I know that we can make this family a big one. Let's make it a large one where you can get to have some fun and chit chat. Please, I want you to subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and I want you to share my videos with your friends, and feel free to discuss with me. Say anything you want to say, leave them in the comment section and we'll respond. We'll make an interactive section out of it. I love you so much. Thank you guys.